Afternoon. It is Friday, April 12th. The time is 11:07. My name is Amy Croto, Senior Natural Resource Officer, hearing officer assigned to today's dog hearing. This is in the matter of Lackey versus Galkowski. I'll read into the record the complaint from March 22nd, 2024. There was a letter given to, hand-delivered to Sarah Lackey. Dear Ms. Lackey, I've scheduled a hearing under the provisions of Chapter 140, Section 157 of the Massachusetts General Laws on Friday, April 12th, 2024 at 11 a.m. based on a complaint received regarding a dog harbored by you. The complaint states that there is excessive barking, which is in violation of the Town of Barnstable dog regulations, specifically Chapter 403-15. The hearing will take place at Town Hall, 367 Main Street, Hyannis, Mass, in the Selectmen's Conference Room on the second floor. You'll be given every opportunity to be heard at this time. I request that you make every effort to attend this hearing. Sincerely, Mark S. Ells, Town Manager. This was delivered in hand to Sarah Lackey by Animal Control Officer Cindy Sherman on March 25th at 6:45 p.m. The complaint was taken in on the 12th of March, submitted by a Laurel Galkowski, 106 Cranberry Ridge in Marston's Mills. The complaint is in regards to a brown and white Australian Shepherd named Bailey, 2023 license tag number 322. The fax is provided by Laurel. I left the owners a note a year ago. In my note, I just asked if they could be more mindful about the dog's long length of time frames of barking. I expressed how annoying the barking was. I called the dog officer this past summer to report the dog barking around 11:15 a.m. when the owner left the home and returned an hour or longer. Dog barks the whole time. The situation improved. After the officer spoke with the owners recently, past 2 months, the situation has been declining. Same pattern when Sarah leaves the home. The dog is out and barks for the whole time she is gone. I have a recording from March 1, 2024, the day I called an animal control officer for the second time. So at this time, anybody who will be providing testimony, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the evidence you're about to give in this matter is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, and then just as a reminder, make sure you speak into the microphone when it is your turn to speak. So at this time, we'll take testimony from Laurel as a complainant.
I'm here solely for myself. I do know that there's other complaints throughout the neighborhood, and people don't really want to step up and say anything because they're afraid of retaliation. I, on the other hand, just would like the family to know that whether they're aware of the dog barking or not, because when they leave the home, obviously they're not home, it's very disturbing to me to be out in my yard and listen to the dog bark constantly. And it can be anywhere from 15 minutes to half hour to hours. And I will say that I think there has been some effort put forward, because I did notice a period of time, maybe 2 weeks, where it improved. And now it is back to the same pattern. I just want the opportunity to be out in my yard and not have to listen to that one dog bark incessantly for hours. So.
Okay. I apologize. I will be taking notes during this time. It usually forwards the process a little bit more quickly rather than having to wait for the recording and watch it again. And where we have two little ones, they may end up muffling some of the recording inadvertently. Okay, Sarah?
So I have Animal Patrol come very often to my house. I have explained that I am aware that my dog does bark when people walk by. He also barks when I get deliveries, which aren't every day, but when I do get deliveries, he will bark till they leave the driveway. She did leave a note, so in an effort to help the barking, I put, instead of deliveries coming to my door, which I have pictures of my house, my yard's pretty, my driveway's pretty long. So I had moved the black box up pretty close to the street, so that way they can come in, drop the box, leave, and he stops barking. I do have pictures of the day she complained where she was actually in my yard. I also have video of it, 3 different occasions. So of course he is gonna bark until anyone leaves or if they walk by. He barks, like I told the animal patrol, until they leave. In the video you can see she's holding up a camera or a phone. So I have, after I got the letter, I did try to make those efforts to make him bark less. I also have a text from my actual neighbor. She lives over 400 feet from me. The other ones who are complaining live over 300 feet. So my actual next door neighbor, who does like my dog, she actually texted me 10 days before I got before I got what's it called, the letter to come here. And she just asked if Bailey was still around. She hasn't heard or seen him in a while. They were away. I said, yep, he's still here. She said, it must be a spring thing. So, I mean, he does bark. I told Animal Patrol that, but he barks for the minute or two. You know, he will bark until someone walks by, until somebody leaves the premises. When we have, let's say, every 6 months we have an inspector come, he'll bark till he sniffs them to a minute. So he does bark. It's just not, it's him alone as a dog. It's not, I don't feel crazy, but he does bark. But it's not for an excess period of time.
Okay.
And I've had Animal Patrol 6 years now, off and on, call, drive by daily, stop outside my house, and they just tell me they get a complaint. My dog's not outside when they come, ever. So yeah.
Okay.
But I do have pictures of her, whatever, on my property, on my yard, video, in my yard. So of course he's gonna bark.
Daniela, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yes, I just wanted to say that we put up an electric fence so the dog could be outside. Sometimes the kids let him out. Usually like she said, he only barks when people go by or in the property because that's what a dog does to protect the property. And because she lives there with the small children, is home alone a lot, she feels safer, obviously, with the dog. If he didn't bark, that would be a problem. And the fact that they're coming on the property, I have a no trespassing sign on the property now. And also, I read your bylaws, and it said something about how many feet away the people, how many feet away you can hear the dog barking. They're well past that limit of what is stated in your, it says how far you should be able to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically, noise violations are like if you can hear it at 150 feet.
Correct. Well, they live far away from 150 feet.
Right. Yeah. So that would, that would still constitute a noise violation if it can be heard beyond the 150 feet.
Well, we can show with the videos that they stand at the bottom of the driveway, walk back and forth at the bottom of the driveway, harassing the dog and having the dog bark. We have videos from the house, because she's got cameras on the home for safety, and we see that they're at the bottom of the driveway, walking back and forth. Of course, the dog, if he's outside, will bark. Mm-hmm. If he's in the house and he sees somebody in the yard, he will bark, even in the house. When there's somebody, we have plenty of video and pictures of him laying in the yard, enjoying the sun, not barking, She goes out to bring the kids to daycare or to go to Dunkin' Donuts, and sometimes he's outside. It's a nice day. He wants to be outside. He has to go to the bathroom. So,
Okay.
Yeah. I also want to say, she did make a comment. She came once, she said that they say that I could show you pictures, my yard, in order to see in it, you have to actually be in it, or I guess I don't know, looking through the trees. And she made a comment, or someone made the comment when they called, that my dog barks at squirrels, which he chases squirrels, but he doesn't bark at them. But my point being, in order to even see that in my yard, you'd have to either be in my yard or you'd have to be making that up. So I thought that was a weird thing to say.
Is there a reason why these pictures and videos were not provided ahead of the hearing?
I sent them twice. We called. It wouldn't go through on my phone. Supposedly, she sent it on the...
I did.
The desktop, and it went through.
I called yesterday, I got the email address, I sent them, they went through according to
on
what
my
I sent,
phone, but- and
and
the
it went to the
pictures.
address, what's it, MEA, whatever.
Yeah, the only thing that we received in the ME mailbox was just a copy of the text messages that were sent
Well, I
by
sent
your
two, so
neighbor.
it was able to send the things that were not videos, but it was not able to send the videos.
So that must have been her stuff, but then I sent stuff and the videos went through. I sent it after. So you might have gotten
Videos
them
on here.
later,
I have
after.
screenshots of it.
Okay, I just was never provided with any of that, so
Yep.
don't have that in this folder as.
Yeah, but just to let you know, we did send, she was having difficulty, so I sent it from work, and it was later in the afternoon, so.
Yeah, okay.
Juliet, sit down, please.
Okay, are there pictures, videos that you would like to
So, I
share
mean,
at this
since I knew
time?
this might happen about the videos, I did take screenshots, and I was able to develop those. I was able to develop and show kind of how far the black box that I did try to move so my dog can stop barking at all, pretty much, how far it is, pretty close to the road to help out. And then to show how far she must have been on my property to get these sounds, and how far her house is from mine. So I do have the pictures of all that.
Okay,
And
if you want them,
phone, too.
It's on my phone, but I don't think she wants to see it.
yeah. If you're going to provide those to me to look at, I'll have to make copies of them so they're a part of the record.
Yeah.
If you want to just pass them down this way.
I ran out of time to write on the back.
That's okay.
So that just shows the distance.
So are you at your house?
Driveway, yeah.
And that's her house over there?
Behind the bush. There's like a little bush on the other side.
Yep, okay. This,
That's her.
okay.
But it was on a video. I screenshot the video because I knew it might not go through.
Yeah, this is pretty fuzzy, so I wouldn't be able to definitively say that this is her versus somebody
so
else, but,
that's why we waited. But
Yep.
now when I knew who took me, I know it's her.
Okay.
It's the same day the report was made.
okay. And this picture?
So that's to show my yellow box, how close.
That's your delivery
my
box?
delivery- Yeah,
Okay.
I keep calling it yellow.
Yeah.
That's my delivery to show I did try.
Okay, yeah, so I'm assuming these pictures that are showing
Right.
slightly fuzzy human are from the screenshots from the
Yeah, and I can
video?
get the date. It was literally a half hour before I called the officer, and she told me that's who made the report, and it only adds up.
Okay. This is your
That
house?
was just to show kind of how far she was up on my property, where the black box is, just kind of give you an idea.
Okay.
And how you'd see a squirrel, him barking at squirrels, you'd have to kind of be in my driveway.
Oh, okay. So this is just showing the
Well,
distance between,
they cut it off on the
Yep.
bottom, but yeah.
understood.
And that's the text that you
This we do have,
yeah.
yep, that we do have a copy of. Yeah.
And if you look in the distance picture, that shows the house, so she's in the house that's literally to the left of me.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's all, that's what I have.
Okay. And then I'm not sure how to handle the video portion. I
mean,
can't
have-
use these screenshots because they're quite
Yeah, it
fuzzy.
says they're blocked. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know how else. to send it. I sent it to two different, the one I found on the website and the MEA
Yeah.
that she gave me, and they both come up like this, it's blocked, but not with the other things, just the videos.
Okay. It probably has something to do with the town's firewall, I would assume. Yeah, they run a pretty tight security
Yeah, I was
ship.
thinking
Yeah.
that's why.
Okay. Senior ACO Lewis.
Hey, good morning. Records show that Officer Sherman did, in fact, deliver the notice for this hearing in hand. Dog is currently licensed. It's named Bailey, Australian Shepherd, born in 2017, and it's currently licensed, tag number being 322.
Okay.
And I did receive the text message that I provided a copy for the record. It came at 8:23 this morning.
Oh, wow.
I believe that the video, if it did come, had to have been after the fact. It may be in the mailbox right now, but I have no way of checking.
Okay.
There was nothing there, obviously, at 10:30 when I left the office.
Okay.
So, we have, in fact, been to this house on numerous occasions over the last few years regarding barking dogs. We've suggested bark collars and other measures, not leaving the dog outside unattended. Our suggestions obviously have not been followed to a great degree. I have seen some improvement, usually lasts for, a few weeks after we visit, but generally speaking, the problem comes back. It's difficult to put a time frame on how long the dog barks, because once the dog sees us, naturally it's going to bark. But as we roll into the area, we have heard the dog bark on a number of occasions. Previous to this, I'm going to say there's probably been a minimum of 4 or 5 different complaints over the years. And dog hearings have been suggested to others, but for their own reasons, they have not came forward. So, but we do believe that this is a problem dog barking. It's outside unattended too often.
Okay. Have we issued any citations?
Citations have been issued, no.
Okay.
We've attempted to do the education.
I did see in the account assigned to Ms. Lackey that on September 28th of 2022, Natural Resource Officer Christopher Nappy responded to a barking complaint. At the time that he arrived, it was unfounded, but that he educated the owner and requested that the dog be licensed. It was licensed within the next week. I also saw that Animal Control Officer Cynthia Sherman was responding to a barking complaint on the 3rd of May in 2023, reminded Ms. Lackey about the expired dog license, and also that the barking complaints were starting up again, as written in her report. And then on the 1st of March 2024, that Laurel Galkowski was given a complaint form by ACO Sherman, and Ms. Lackey was told that a hearing request has been issued as a result of the ongoing barking. And then we did receive, which was part of the hearing, a text message chain from Ellen, who's labeled as neighbor, asking on March 16th, is Bailey still around? I haven't heard/seen him in a while. We were away for February vacay, and I just realized it had been a while since I'd seen him. And then Sarah responding, yep, he's still here. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah. I don't know who mentioned squirrels, but I had nothing to do with that. I can't say whether Bailey chases squirrels or not. I never mentioned squirrels. Secondly, my apologies for being on the driveway, but after 15 minutes of barking and I decide to tape, I did walk over because I thought I could get even more, I guess, barking sounds. I probably, and I probably could verify it in a video, I think I went maybe as far as the black box, but I'm not quite sure. I wasn't on their property, like in their yard. I was at the road edge, and yes, a bit into their driveway.
To be clear, we don't address, like trespassing or not trespassing
Okay.
in the dog hearings. This is specific to the barking complaint.
But I went over there, it was already barking. I didn't instigate the barking. And as far as other people in the neighborhood, yeah, I'm not going to speak for anybody else. I'm just speaking for myself.
Probably best because I can't take any testimony
Yeah,
on behalf
no.
of somebody who's not here to represent themselves or that didn't submit a comment letter of their own.
And I like dogs. We don't have a dog because we can't take care of a dog the way we would like to. I like dogs. I have nothing against Bailey at all. I guess the education of somebody, for them to know that they're not there, so they don't know if Bailey's barking, but I mean, we have 3 recordings. I never got an hour's worth because I'm not going to record for an hour, but under the advice of the dog officer that came, I forget what her name was.
Officer Sherman.
Yes, she said if you could get some videos, that would be helpful. So that was my attempt. And I mean no ill harm to anybody. I just,
Understood. So I'm assuming both parties have these videos, recordings on their phones currently,
I do.
present with you right now? Do either parties have opposition to those being shared right now in this hearing as a part of the record?
I mean, is it going to make a difference on the phone?
It depends, because if you have a recording of a dog barking, but I can't attribute it to a specific dog because I can't see the dog on the property actually physically barking, then I can't use that as definitive evidence that that dog is barking.
Sure.
Similarly, if the dog is barking, in the video that you have of her walking up to your property, and then, it's just difficult to say without having seen the videos whether or not they would be considered valid in making a recommendation today. But if you want, we can just go through them and then,
Yeah, if it's going to make a difference, I mean, it doesn't, yeah.
okay. All right, so then since we're still with Laurel here, why don't you share what you have?
Okay, this is March 1st at 12:48. Turn my volume up.
Okay, so I will say this video, while it does show the dog barking, you don't hear the onset of barking until you're physically in their driveway.
Okay.
And then the video ends before you've physically left the property, so it doesn't necessarily
Goes on.
show.
It goes
yeah.
on. Okay, so that's 12:59. And then the next one goes on till 1:11.
When you're in my job.
But anyway, it does show the dog.
Right, yeah.
So-
I mean, I can see that the dog is,
So I'll show you a
is
different video
barking.
of me not being there.
yep.
That would be probably helpful. Of course, there's a leaf blower in the background.
Right. Yeah, so these types of videos, it would unfortunately be a reach to say definitively that it's that dog barking where we don't, and that's
Okay.
unfortunately, a lot of the times when we have dog hearings, video evidence can be very challenging to actually use in a recommendation because,
I don't know if it was used. Like,
Yeah,
but I
it-
can
it-
show what I have.
yeah, sure. Why don't you bring your phone up here?
But it does show that it's Bailey in the
Yep.
first one.
Yes, it does, yes.
I would also note that that's not an aggressive or defensive bark.
Yeah, no.
It's just a plain bark.
Yep, yeah.
So my point being that if that, she was in fact in the driveway taking the video, the dog certainly wasn't in a defensive mode.
Right, understood, understood.
So I don't know when you want to say. So that's just, and it already started. I don't know. It's using Zoom. That's the barking here. Looks like she has her phone. I mean, then I have others. Same idea. So he's standing there, and she see her. He runs away because she comes up the driveway. Just give it a sec. Then he back off. I tried. And you see her kind of behind a tree and whatnot. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, again, I wouldn't be able to say that
Well,
that's,
that's why I didn't know. If
yeah.
you worth. But I mean,
Nope.
she was in my driveway, so.
But, I mean, it's only fair to share your videos
Yeah.
when we allowed her to share hers, so. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add at this time?
No.
Okay.
I just have one thing I want to say. I'm a little offended by the comment of retaliation. That kind of offends me a little bit.
Again, this is specific
Okay,
to
we'll bring it up
excess
somewhere
barking
else.
by a dog.
be
We
brought up
don't
somewhere
address
else. No
neighbor-to-neighbor relations in these hearings, although they often do come up. It has no bearing on whether or not Bailey is an
I'll
excessive
bring it to
barker.
another venue then, thank
Yeah,
you.
understood. ACO Lewis?
I would just point out that in our trips through the neighborhood, which are often in that neighborhood due to the number of complaints that we receive from many individuals for many different dogs. A's and Megs is a main road that gets us through that neighborhood,
Yeah.
which is why we are there frequently on a daily basis.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
backs up to a number of
just
other.
particular to that address.
Yeah.
But so my thing also, it's been going on 6 years off and on. I guess my question is, I mean, I try my best. I know he does bark. I address this. I address this with the lady that called. They come. I mean, when is kind of, I mean, he does, like I said, bark. I brought that up, and she did say, Cindy Sherman said, that's at least you know that he barks. He just can't bark for, you know, unless someone's antagonizing him. And I guess when it's kind of like enough, or I am trying harder now to not have him out as much, so that he doesn't bark at all. But when I guess is like, you know, when
Well, I mean,
don't they do something? Like,
typically
he's
the
never
reason
really
these
outside.
hearings are held is to kind of put
I don't know.
hopefully an end to this type of situation.
Right.
I mean, it sounds like you acknowledge that the dog does bark, that it happens, when he's outside, when people are walking by, when there are deliveries. I understand you've made efforts with the box, but I mean, it could be as simple as a bark collar, because then if he's outside, that's active mitigation for a situation that's obviously causing, distress to other neighbors, but.
So may I ask,
mean,
one of the
how long
recommendations would
does
be a
the
dog
bark
collar to
have
zap
to
him
be?
every time he barks? That might be one of the recommendations.
That can be a recommendation. I'm not stating that that would be a recommendation.
And I'm just also wondering how long, I don't really know any of this stuff, or how loud, I guess I should say, does it bark? Because the bark wasn't like I told her, he's not outside playing with another dog all day long. It's him alone. So I guess it didn't sound so loud. Is it annoying? Maybe. I mean, I am trying, but it didn't seem like it was.
Yeah, I mean, the barking ordinance as written was recently changed. If you could refresh my memory, Animal Control Officer Lewis.
Yes, it was. It clarifies several points. One is the distance, and what is continuous, and also a dog may not bark and reasonably disturb the peace of another. That's the important part. We have individuals that may be ill, may work, we're a 24-hour society. They may work at night and have to sleep during the day. Things like that all come into play. So
Yeah, it was just a question. I didn't know.
Yep.
the noise, the loudness of a bark doesn't determine whether or not it's the nuisance. That continuation is what creates the problem.
No, I mean, I didn't realize, so I will definitely try to keep him in more often. Yeah, I'll definitely try.
Again, I would point out that the use of a bark collar, if used properly, training the dog initially when it's put on, they make what they call diminisher barking. So they get to bark the four times before they get a correction. Some of them work on a tone before they get the stimulation, or tone or vibrator. And that's enough to usually stop a dog from barking when someone trains the dog accordingly. So you put it on the dog, he barks, he gets the stimulation, you turn around and you are telling him at the same time, or her, that no bark. And then you'll see that electrical part will hardly ever come into play. But they make them so that they can bark 3 or 4 times.
Well, I mean, I like a
so that
little
it doesn't
barking
have
to
the
alert me.
elimination of the guard dog type thing.
Okay, I mean, it's.
We want to alert
Do they have
dogs.
one that's a couple more barks than 4?
They have stimulation levels from 0 to 20 adjustable on most of the collars.
Okay.
May I add something?
Yes, you may add something.
And again, I absolutely know that dogs bark. It's just, that's what they do, they're dogs. And again, I'm just reiterating, it's the length of time that the dog is alone outside barking. I have no trouble we've got barking dogs throughout the neighborhood. They bark at people, cars, whatever. And that's acceptable. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, understood. Okay, so at this time, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I'm set.
all right. Okay, so assuming that everybody has had their opportunity to be adequately heard today, we will close the hearing. It is now 11:41. Like I said, we will take all of the notes from this hearing, put them together for the town manager to review, and then he will, at his discretion, put forth a town manager order if he decides to do so.
And may I ask one question? If we don't agree with what is there appeal process or other processes we can take?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. And that, if a town manager order is issued, should be within like 2 business weeks typically.
Oh, will I get a hand delivery as well?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. All righty, thank you guys for your time. Do you mind if I make copies of these for,
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay.
They're just for this. I
Perfect,
just didn't,
perfect.
No one
All
come
right.
empty-handed.
then we will add those to the record. And those can go back to her. I can't use this because they're quite blurry.
Okay.